Hello, everybody.
Hello and welcome to another episode. We're your host. I'm Sean Calhoun, and this is my lovely wife.
Christina Calhoun.
And today we're going to be talking to you about what to say when dealing with a emotional or difficult agent. All right, so we're going to get into that today. Now, before we get into it, quick question. Why is it so important? And I'm going to get to how people contact us in a minute. But why is it so important that you know how to deal with this?
Because it comes up a lot.
It comes up a lot. Here's something to think about. Number one, the way you deal with this situation, a difficult or emotional agent, is going to determine whether your client, whether it's a home seller or home buyer, becomes a home owner with this property they love or not. Or if they're selling a home, whether they are able to achieve their goal of selling that home for maximum profit, right? Those are great things. But here's the big kicker. Your reputation is on the line as well. So you think about that. Referrals, reputation, that's all on the line. So you're going to want to tune in to the end so you can see exactly how to deal with it. But in the meantime, listen, if you have other real estate questions yourself, you want your home appraised, you're looking for an agent, other questions like that, how would somebody get in touch with us, Christina?
You can get in touch with us. You can send us a direct message here on Facebook, Sean Christina Calhoun. We also have a website, prettyhm.com, and you can get in contact with us there.
That sounds great. And for you agents out there who want to get trained, guess what? We'll be putting up more training info for you as well. And it's not only for agents on our at Pretty Home Realty, it's for other agents that will as well that want to sharpen up your skills. All right. So listen, here we go. Let's get into it. So a difficult or emotional agent. So give me an example of, so let's say, an agent that could be difficult. That how does that come up?
That comes up when you're trying to get information. You might be trying to get in touch with them and they don't return your calls, or it'll be days without a response to emails, and that can start to make the transaction more challenging. And normally you've got your client asking you questions. Well, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? And you're like, I've reached out to them a bunch of times, but it does make the transaction difficult. Or it could be that maybe they have something else going on. Maybe they have other deals that are falling through, or their client may be really unreasonable. So they could have their own external challenges that don't have anything to do with you, and yet it's coming across
Right, to you.
to you. Yeah.
So another thing, I just want to jump in there real quick, too, to throw in there. Here's something. Now, this really happens, okay? It has happened to myself and other agents, and if you're an agent, it's going to happen to you at some point in time. If it hasn't already, you probably can relate. Someone's going to have some words with you. They're going to make some accusations or something like that. So, for example, someone may yell at you, another agent, or let's be real, how about a client? They're yelling at you, right? So we got a couple distinctions we're going to talk about. An angry agent, right? And let's throw clients in there too, right?
Okay.
An angry person, let's say an angry person, or someone who is, well, I don't want to get I want to get a middle finger, or someone who is sensitive, okay? Someone who is sensitive. When you say things, they may take it the wrong way. They may read a text the wrong way. And so now there are words. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Now, Christina actually got into the cause of it. So what you need to do is there's something you need to really remember with this, with the whole thing. Okay, so we have two sides. Okay, two sides. And one side is there's a party trying to get a home sold. There's another party trying to get to buy a home, right? You got two sides. So consider yourself almost like a referee. You are in the middle, okay? So you have to keep your cool. Now, Christine is going to get into a couple ways why you keep your cool because of perspective. She's going to give us a little more perspective, but you got to remember those things that we brought up in the beginning again, okay? I need to keep my cool, and you need to remember these things. I need to keep my cool no matter what they have said about me because my client, I have to help them buy or sell this home. So I need to be this way. So for me, I can't be the emotional one. See, it's a transaction. Now I care, but I have to keep my cool. I have to look at it as a transaction. That way, I won't let my emotions, take over my actions. So let's go back. How do we keep our cool? What are some things that we need to consider? Like you were bringing out, let's just say if an agent barks at you for some reason, or a client, they're barking at you. What do we need to consider?
Well, we need to be empathetic because, like I said, they could be dealing with an unreasonable client themselves who's putting pressure on them, or it could be maybe they have other transactions that aren't going through smoothly. So then it kind of builds up and spills over onto you, things like that. And sometimes you just got to let it go because, like Sean was saying, you want to focus on the transaction and think of moving forward with the transaction, right? Mm-hmm. Don't focus on who said what and who didn't do their job or whatever. The goal should be moving forward. Right. How can we move forward?
Where do we go from here?
Make it mutually advantageous to both parties because those are what work out best rather than it being all skewed towards one person. So it is part of that. How do we keep this transaction moving forward? Reassuring them that you want to move forward because that's what they want too. They want to complete the transaction.
Right. So that's really big. So let's go back and distinguish. So let's just talk about someone who is sensitive. Okay. So someone who is an agent that's sensitive, that means that they feel a certain way. And are they wrong for how they feel? I mean, they may really feel that way, right? So they're not necessarily wrong. That's how they feel. So we need to have perspective and look at things from their perspective, okay? Now, their perspective might be incorrect as far as that's not what really happened, but that doesn't mean that they don't feel that way, right? So what we have to do in that situation, basically, if someone gives you words because they're sensitive, they may think you're being pushy because you're trying to get a deal done, trying to complete this transaction, and they have some words. The biggest tool that you have in accomplishing your goal is going to be forgiveness. Just forgive it. If they had some words, just forget. Just act like it didn't happen. You don't have to go back and forth on text trying to explain your point of view and all of that stuff. Is that really business? Is that you have a fiduciary duty to your client? Is that really helping them? It may not. So
don't take it personally.
Don't take it personal. Forget all that. Just keep it moving, right? Okay, so that's what the sensitive person, just look over it, keep it moving. Now, what about someone who is angry? Okay, an angry person. You have to remember, They're angry about something. Christina said, it could be some deals that fell apart. It could be their personal life, right? How about this? Have you ever had a bad day? It could just be a bad day. So you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. However, what if this just keeps coming up? It just keeps coming up. They're angry, they're yelling, they're throwing out things like that. It is okay to professionally let them know, hey, listen, I'm a professional and I know that you're a professional. Assume the best in that person. It seems like things are going the wrong way. I want to put a pause to it right now. Let's pick this up and let's get this closed without these words, without these extra words. Whatever I did, if I did something to you unknowingly, hey, I promise you I didn't mean it. Let's get this thing closed. So let's remove all of that and move forward and assume the best in humans. Assume the best in them. Because what you're going to do is you're going to bring out the best in them. And instead of that deal blowing up, guess what? Your client's going to be happy. And guess what? That check is going to be really nice when you cash it instead of that deal blowing up. And you're back to the drawing board, right? You're going to let that person win? No, don't do it. Don't do it.
And really, they don't win. Everybody loses if it falls apart over anger.
Yeah. So those are some quick tips. We can't go in depth on everything. Last thing I want to throw out on this subject is a lot of communication can get lost in text and even emails. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you might just have to pick up the phone again and just with a clear slate, take it from there. Okay. Now, if everybody's all upset and riled up, that might not be the time.
Yeah.
what's one of the things that I do quite often that you notice? If things are kind of riled up, what do I normally do?
You'll wait a little while before you'll return a call, like if they left an angry voicemail, so that they can calm down. Yeah. And one thing I've learned from you is that people can't argue with someone who agrees with them. So if you're keeping things positive, if you're agreeing with them, like, oh yeah, maybe I agree, this isn't the way we wanted things to go. Let's say there was a bad inspection or something like that. But reassuring them that you still want to move forward, that you're not trying to give up on the play.
Yeah.
Is big. And, even addressing the fact that they seem upset.
Right.
I'm sorry. You seem like you're upset about something. Maybe we should talk later.
That's it. I've said that many, many times. Many times. Mm-hmm. And that helps. That'll bring it to a person's mind. And they may subconsciously not even know it. Like, oh, you know what? I am upset about this. We've had people tell, oh, I'm going through a divorce. Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. You're like, wow. And you're doing great then. You might be doing better than I'll be doing, right? So anyway, we hope that this has brought some value to you. We hope that you can use this so that you can close more deals. You can help more clients accomplish their real estate goals. All right. If you need more training, reach out to us. You can send us an instant message. We got a lot of great things coming up for you. And again, that's it from us. So I guess we'll see you on the next episode. When is that?
Next Wednesday at 1:00.
All right.
Thanks. And thanks for tuning in, Darian.
All right.